Hi everyone, my name is Spencer, along with Keithan and Mark. We are Dogs Playing Poker. So quick project background, problem scenario, you got people that can't go to casinos as much lately due to COVID. Online poker really doesn't live up to the in-person experience. You don't get the feel of the cards, knocking on the table, even betting online is usually set with a slider. It just doesn't feel as real or as natural. So to fix that, we want to propose a solution where users can play just as they would against other people, knocking to check, sliding your cards to fold, and using other voice and speech commands like you would with other people or a real dealer. To start with our impressive system demo, we've got an expert who helped build the system here. They're very familiar with the Leap Motion and the Ranger site, and they're going to show us what the system is designed to look like.
This is Spencer Highland from Dogs Playing Poker, and Spencer is demoing our system as an expert.
Call. Raise 100. Call. Check. Fold. Now that we've seen that impressive demo, we're moving on to how the system works. There's four main pieces. We have gesture recognition, speech recognition, the poker backend, and the poker UI. Gesture and speech each operate off their own mechanical models using the Leap Motion and the WebKit Speech API respectively. We have the poker backend that handles all the game logic. And then finally, we have the poker UI, which is just designed to look familiar and increase user enjoyment of the system. In terms of our major ideas, techniques, and tools, our major ideas were just kind of keep things simple and intuitive. We wanted to focus on models that we could, understand and actually explain what's going on there. We spent a great deal of time debugging the Leap Motion and the WebKit Speech API, and that would have been a lot harder if we were dealing with a black box implementation rather than the models that we built. We also just wanted to make a system that incorporates features that we would want to play with and enjoy. In terms of our techniques, we kind of developed this over time, but trying to work on finding a balance between writing APIs in our own code. After spending a number of hours looking for a poker API, we just decided to write one on our own when we actually could have modified one that existed out there to suit our needs. And then finally, in terms of our tools, pretty much mentioned already, but the Leap Motion and WebKit Speech related APIs, we just use the Metaphone algorithm for spring matching. And then finally, the poker API, of course, once we had already tried building our own.
Yeah, so once we had the system implemented, we had to actually get some user tests and see how well it would work. So we polled people around the area we're living at, and we found 6 users that with varying levels of experience that were willing to test our system out for us. One of the users said they had used online poker apps regularly, so they were kind of our baseline for the expert using the system who had never seen it before. And after they'd all taken a pre-feedback survey and a post-feedback survey, a majority of them said if our app was widely available and polished to look real nice, they would definitely use it again. There were a few reports of glitches where they had trouble getting the Leap Motion to detect on the first try, and sometimes the speeches or raises would not do exactly what they were saying, but they also said that it didn't seem to affect their play too much. In the end, most users said they preferred the experience of real poker, but 4 out of the 6 said compared to other online experiences they had tried, they preferred our poker app to those, including the expert.
And so that actually leads to our interesting failure, which is kind of the limits of the Leap Motion, the infrared sensing in general. This was kind of our largest challenge. Users found it difficult to use and pick up, and that wasn't really helped by their lack of experience with previous gesture recognition devices. We tried a number of solutions for this. We tried putting a little plastic cover at kind of the correct height for the user to touch. stacks of books kind of nearby, so they knew what the appropriate height was and could maybe even knock on something. Ultimately, we settled with the setup you can see here, which provides a decent height. The leap box is actually right about where we want the user's hand to be, and distance. So long as the user's fingertips are about near the box, they're able to get picked up by the leap motion. And we thought this was an interesting failure because it showed a little bit the limits of the technology, of course, but also the limits of the users of the system, where ultimately you can build as fancy a system as you want, but if the user isn't able to interact with it, it really won't be that successful.
In conclusion, we found that poker is an interesting problem to develop for because there's so many things you can do. And for us, it helped to focus on the gestures and the interaction as opposed to making different difficulty levels for the bots or things like that. We implemented all our desired features and made the system robust with only the occasional glitch, which we found was okay for the scope of this project. And through our many user tests, we've confirmed our confidence in the system as a good alternative to real poker, since users found the system quite intuitive to use and they had positive feedback for us in the end. And so as a final thought, we thought that this picture perfectly encapsulates what we have envisioned in our project with dogs playing poker, as this dog is playing poker online with Zoom. And we're hoping it's how dogs will play poker in the future, thanks to the great 6835 course staff. Thank you.